Parashat Miketz opens 2 years later after Yosef had interpreted the dreams while in prison. Vayehi Miketz shnatayim yamim. It was 2 years later. Ufaro cholem, and Pharaoh dreamt. V'hinei omed alei or. He was standing on the bank of the Nile River, and he saw 7 healthy and handsome cows rise from the banks of the river, only to be consumed by 7 ugly and gaunt cows. It was this dream that troubled Pharaoh so, and that ultimately led to the rise of Yosef within the court of Pharaoh. And yet, that opening pasuk presents a grammatical challenge, because it says, Ufaro cholem, not as I translated it before, that Pharaoh had dreamed a dream, but rather Pharaoh was dreaming, cholem, in the present tense. Why would it appear in the present tense? There are many answers. The Or HaChaim, for example, suggests that Pharaoh had been dreaming this very same dream each and every night for the past 2 years, and only on that night, when he awoke, did he remember the dream. And yet Rav Soloveitchik looks at this and he suggests a beautiful drasha. Ufaro cholem was that Pharaoh was transformed himself from a person who was a hard-boiled realist into a dreamer. Why was that important? Because only a dreamer would be willing to listen to the interpretation of a slave who had been imprisoned. Only a dreamer would be willing to take the risk of transforming the economy of Egypt. Only a dreamer would be willing to take the chance. And therefore, with the opening of our parasha, 2 years later, Ufaro cholem, Pharaoh became a dreamer. V'hinei omed alei or, and he saw himself standing on the banks of the Nile. It was this dreamer who allowed ultimately Yosef HaTzadik to rise to greatness in his court and his land.